going on, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to the channel. So I am back with another 2 cents for you guys, and I want to speak on the whole idea of women having equality. Women have spoke on this and fought for the right to be able to be equal to a man, to be able to be paid equal to what a man is making, to be able to live their lives equal to men. So now in 2025, women are the most free they've ever been. Women have equal rights. They're able to do things much more efficiently than they have been able to do in the past. They feel more liberated as ever. They're free to do what they want to do without question, without any shame, guilt, or anything of that nature. They can make decisions for themselves. They can choose to be married. They can choose to be single. They can choose to have kids or not. And it's all celebrated. So women are freer than they've ever been. They have the options to choose what they want. So you would think in this society that women have fought for, that they would be the most happiest women that you've ever seen. Seeing as we hear a lot of women talk about the past and how women couldn't have bank accounts and how women, had to depend on the man, and they were so miserable because they couldn't go out and work and that they had to be at the home just cooking and cleaning and rearing the kids, barefoot Contessa. They speak as if that was the worst way to be. That was the worst time for women. And now that women are so liberated and freer than ever, they can make choices for themselves. They don't need a man. They can be the head of the household. They can run that ship the way they want to. They don't have to have a man to tell them what to do, to depend on for financial gain. They can go out. They have bank accounts. They can work. They can become entrepreneurs. They can become business owners. They can do it all and don't have to be subjugated by a man. It's freeing and liberated to become single mothers. You can do that and raise your kids by yourself. You can even go and get in vitro fertilization if you want to have a child, but you don't want to deal with a man at all. There are so many options available to women in 2025, but there are still women who are making it seem as if they have no resources, they have no rights, and they have no choices. When women are freer than they've ever been, but they are still complaining about men, still complaining about society, still complaining about inequalities that may not even exist. They're still complaining even though they have the freedoms to do whatever it is that they want, and nobody is going to have a problem with them. No other woman is going to push back because it's your body, your choice, your mind to think freely and do what you want to do without a man having to even be involved. Because I say all this because you find even in today's, the freest society for women, they're still complaining about men. They're still trying to control a group of people and force them to do what they want them to do, even though that's something they fought against. They still want men to be traditional men and pay for all the bills. Remember, they will not go 50-50. 50-50 is just, oh my God, hell no, I'm not going to be your roommate. So you want equality, but not when it relies on you to do something. You only want equality when it benefits you as the woman, but when it doesn't benefit you in your mind, you want no parts of it. Oh, it's a problem. Oh, it shouldn't be happening. But you still want to hold men to a traditional standard that y'all said y'all didn't want. You didn't want to be in the house like Big Mama cooking and cleaning all day. That was no fun. She was so-called miserable, if you let these modern women tell you. You didn't want that. But now we have women saying they want a man to be a traditional man to come in and pay all the bills, take care of all the finances. But y'all don't want to be traditional women. See, at least those women were traditional women. Yeah, they were doing the jobs that y'all don't want to do. And that made sense for the man to go out and work and pay all the bills because he has a woman at home, making sure he has a good meal, to come to a clean home, making sure things are in order. So when he comes home from work, he doesn't have to worry about that. Modern women don't even want to do that. You don't want to be a traditional woman. That was the hard knock life. That was like being a slave. You don't want to do that, but you still want men and uphold men to these traditional values, which is insane. So this is why I've come to the conclusion that, first off, a lot of these modern women are batshit crazy. I'm just saying. A lot of them don't want equality, but they want an advantage. And a lot of these women, as much as they want you to believe they're the most educated, they're still having a hard time, a lot of them. They still want men to uphold those traditional values because they know it will benefit them. And as much as you also hear women say, oh, marriage does not benefit the woman, it benefits the man because he gets an in-home maid, he gets an in-home this. Y'all look confusing. You don't want that. So you don't want to be a stay-at-home wife as much as they say they do, because you can't be outside and you can't go travel with your girlfriends. So you don't want to be at home. That's slave work. You want to be outside, but you still want a man, and you still want him to come in 100% of the time to pay 100% of the financial load, take care of everything, even your girl's trips. And what does he get from you? This is why they hated that question. What do you bring to the table? Oh, Lord, they spun around and had convulsions. What do you mean? What do I bring to the table? These women just want something for nothing, and men are not falling for it. This is why I say men are done. Men are done. They're walking away. They want no parts of these modern women, because what they are asking for is unrealistic and insane, if you ask me. You don't want equality because you have it. You want an advantage. You want to be able to do what you want to do whenever you want to do it, and you want a man to come in and be your financier. You want him to come in and just pay for it all with no questions asked. They trying to convince men that this is your responsibility, fellas. This is what you're supposed to do as a real man, right? You're a real man if you come in and pay all the bills. And you got other men speaking on this as well and co-signing this. Other men are co-signing the fact that a man should come in and just pay everything on GP. Just because he's a real man, he comes to pay all the bills. Now, I'm not saying that if you meet a guy that you are interested in and y'all develop a relationship and he has the finances to pay all the bills with no problem, I don't see a problem with that. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, don't you think that this man is going to want a certain type of woman to be his wife? He wants a certain type of wife. He wants a more nurturing woman, a woman who is considerate of him and everything else. He's not just gonna want a cute BBL down boss chick who's just be outside all the time. She don't want to be at home at all. She don't want to do nothing with the kids. She don't want to do nothing family wise. She's just worried about a look. For her friends, they're more important than her man and her family. They just want a lifestyle, and they can't afford to do it themselves. So they need your help. They need you to be able to come in and pay for it all so they can live their best lives. If these women really had the financial status to really just live the way they want to live, oh, baby, this is what we see. We see women out here living their best life, doing what they want to do, having all these hookups and situationships left and right. But the one thing that they don't want you to know is that even in the midst of all of these hookups and these situationships where they seem to be so happy and they got their own cars and they're driving expensive cars and they got their own houses and all these things, at the end of the day, they still want companionship. They still want somebody to take them seriously. They still want a man to come in and take them seriously. They don't want to be by themselves for the rest of their lives. They don't really want that lifestyle. They want to be able to have it all, and they want a man in their corner. As much as they like to say, oh, I don't need a man, oh, the man is not the goal and all this, and I don't like women who are male-centered and all this, they still are out here on these dating apps and everywhere else looking for a man who will take them seriously. So I don't fall for the okie doke because I know a lot of these women are lying. You're lying, and because you can't get what it is that you really want. You can't get what it is that you really want. You want a simp. You want a man who's going to allow you to do whatever you want while he just thinks that that is acceptable and not have any expectations from you because you are a woman. So as a woman, you don't want to have to be expected to do anything or have no roles or nothing to do. You just want a man to say, go do you, have a good time 24/7 while he just sit back and wait for you to come and consider him whenever you're ready. That's not what men are accepting these days. Men are not accepting the bare minimum. Men are not just running behind the booty and the good looks anymore and just taking you seriously and thinking that, oh, if I get her, oh my God, it's going to be the best thing ever, because men have had these experiences with some of these women and it didn't pan out the way it should have, and they're walking away and they realize the juice is not worth the squeeze. And that these women are not the type of women that are looking for healthy, stable relationships. They've become independent boss chicks. They don't think they need a man. They believe that they can live their lives and by themselves with occasional hookups and this and that. And when they're ready to get a man, they think that it's going to all fall into place. But what they're realizing is that is not happening. So this is why a lot of times they become frustrated, because they can get some aspects of the things that they want in their lives, but they can't get it all. So you get that career, you get that advantage or whatever, you can take care of yourself, great. But the majority of the women who are doing that are still frustrated and still complaining because they don't want to be able to take care of themselves for the rest of their lives. They still want a man. If they could, they would want a traditional man to come in and take care of all the financial load, even though they have the capabilities to do it. And even though they are considered boss chicks, they still want you to come in and pay all the bills so they can continue to level up. That's not working for them. So this is why they like to shame men and try to tell them, oh, y'all not real men if you don't do this, because they want a fool to come in and be everything that they want them to be, even though they chose this path. You chose to be equal to a man. You chose to be able to go out and work and get your bank accounts and make your own money and pay your own bills. So why now you don't want to do what you fought for? So now it's unfortunate and it's unreasonable to try to shame men for things that y'all fought for. You didn't want to be in the house. You didn't want to be a housewife. That wasn't good enough. You had aspirations and goals and dreams to be somebody. You want to be a CEO of your company. You want to be, so now you can do it. Go focus on that, do that and be happy. But a lot of them are not. And they're trying to blame men for not taking on them in their independent boss chick era and coming in but being a traditional man and handling the financial load that as an equal person to a man, men can't do that. Men can't depend on women to come in and pay their bills. They got to be men. They got to take care of themselves. So as women who wanted to be equal to men, y'all got it. You got it. So stop complaining and stop trying to blame and shame anybody else for the things that you chose. I'm just saying, baby. So listen, I want to know your thoughts on this particular video. Chime in the comments below. I want to hear what you have to say. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell. Y'all know what it is. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.